Hey guys, welcome back. So today I am going to be showing you guys how to make this turban right here. This is a turban that's crossed at the front, but this time we are using fabric that does not stretch. So if you want one that uses fabric that stretches, I already have a tutorial. You can go back and watch it. This one is for non-stretch fabric. As you can see, our fabric doesn't stretch at all. I am going to be using African print fabric, but you can use whatever fabric you want as long as it doesn't stretch. So our turban, as I said earlier, is crossed at the front. It has pleats at the back, and it also has elastic for a perfect fit. So let's go ahead and begin making this turban right here. First of all, I want to make myself clear that the measurements that I'm giving you right now fit my head. My head might be bigger than yours or smaller than yours. I am just giving you an idea on how this turban is made. If your head is bigger, add inches. If your head is smaller, take down few inches. Play with the measurements to fit your head. The measurements that I'm giving you might not fit your head exactly. So let's begin. You are going to need two pieces that measure exactly the same. And these pieces measure, look at my hands, 32 inches from here to here. I'm going to repeat, 32 from here to here and 12 inches from here to here. So both these pieces measure 32 inches by 12 inches. You're going to start by taking both pieces and folding them in half. And when you fold them, you want your good side to be on top and the bad side to be on the bottom. So you are going to fold both pieces in half. And what you're going to do next is you are going to take them to your sewing machine and sew a straight line from here to here on this piece and from here to here on this piece. You're just going to need a regular sewing machine, but use half an inch seam allowance. I'm going to repeat, sew a straight line from here to here and here to here using half an inch seam allowance. After you have sewn a straight line from both these pieces, what we're going to do is we are going to turn them inside out. This is the part that we just used our sewing machine to sew, and this right here. So what you want to do is you don't want it to be in the middle, but you want it to be on the edge. So you're going to make sure it's like that, not in the middle, just on the far edge. And we're going to do the same thing with this one. So after this, what you're going to do is we are going to cross these two like that in half, and this like this. So this is how it looks. We are going to sew this part with the seam. Leave this part that's folded. Sew together this part with the seam. And the same thing on this one too. You use this part with the seam. So we're going to go to our sewing machine and sew a straight line joining these two right here and these two. And you want to use less than a quarter seam allowance, just a tiny stitch. Let me show you. Just a tiny stitch like this one right here. You do not want a large seam allowance, just something small. I am done, and I have sewn a stitch from here to here and here to here. Next thing I am going, this is how it looks right after we have joined the pieces. Next thing, I'm going to take these two, this side and this side, and bring them together and go back to our sewing machine again and join these two. You also want to still use just a tiny seam allowance, less than a quarter. Just join these two, a straight stitch from here to here. Okay, I'm back, and I have used my sewing machine from here to here, and everything is joined, and now our turban looks like it's all coming together. So the next thing I'm going to do is please pay a little bit of attention here. We are going to create a casing where we can insert our elastic. So I want you to take whatever you use to measure, and measure 7 inches on this side, 7 inches from here to here, and put a mark. So whatever elastic you're going to be using, add a quarter. So I am using a 1 inch wide elastic, so I'm going to measure 1 1/4 inch and put a mark right there, and 1 1/4 inch right here and put a mark. Then I'm going to take my ruler and join the two pieces, the two dots. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side, right? Measure 7 inches, then 1 1/4, 1 1/4 here too. Take my ruler and join these two. After you have drawn this line, what I'm going to do is I am going to go to my sewing machine and sew from this point to this point and stop. Just this point to this point on this side, and this point to this point on this side also. So as you have seen, I sewed a straight line from here to here. I didn't do anything else on both sides. So now we are going to take our ruler and draw a line from here to right here. On both sides. And after this, you are going to need your elastic. I am using this half-inch wide elastic, as I said earlier, but both these pieces measure exactly 4 inches. So we are going to use these to put one on this side and one on this side. So I am going to my sewing machine, and today you're going to see the mess that happens on my sewing machine on how I attach this. I want you to please pay attention on how I am going to attach these two, because explaining it right here you won't really understand. So I want to show you how you do it. So let's go to our sewing machine and attach these two pieces of elastic inside the elastic casing that we just created. So you will need a safety pin, put it inside the elastic, then insert it in this casing that we just made. So you want to put it in like that, then stop right here, sew a straight stitch like 3 or 4 times so you can secure it first. Once you're done, you want to keep pushing it towards this side. So you want to make sure your elastic passes this part that we just put a mark, because if you put it too close, your sewing machine will hit the pin and you might break a needle. So you want to at least make sure the pin is far away from this mark that we just put. So push it as far as you can, then sew again like 3 or 4 times right here so you can secure the elastic. So this is how it looks. Once you're done, you want to take your arm and just do this. Then take out the safety pin. So we are going to do the same thing on this side. So I hope you have all seen how I attached the two pieces of elastic. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to cut the excess pieces, just the tiny ones, so everything can be straight and clean. After you cut the excess fabric, what we're going to do is you're going to go to our serger and sew from here to here. This step is optional. If you're wearing this turban for yourself and you want the excess fabric, who cares? Don't use a serger. But if you want neat work, use a serger and sew from here to here. So if you have a serger and your knife is on, you don't need to cut this excess fabric that I just cut, because your serger's knife will cut it. But if you don't, you just want to make sure everything is clean and serge a straight line from here all the way to right here. I have used my serger to finish up the edges. So next thing, I am going to fold this in half, then go to my sewing machine and sew a straight stitch from here to here with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So please pay attention right now. What I'm going to do as I sew is I am going to make sure I pull these elastics too, so it can be a straight line from here to here. So sew from here to here as you pull your elastic. I am done, and I used my sewing machine to sew from right here to right here. So we are going to be doing our very last step, and that is creating pleats at the back of this turban. So what we're going to be doing is we are going to make sure this is all straight like that and start creating pleats. So in order to create the pleats, I will have to take you guys back to my sewing machine so I can show you how it is done. So let's go ahead and create the final step of our turban, which is making the pleats right here. You want to start by putting this part on your sewing machine. Sew a straight line from here to here. Don't forget to backstitch. So now we are going to start creating the pleats. So you're going to pinch and put it back. Just use whatever measurement you want to use. Just approximate. It doesn't have to be any specific. So as you go, you just want to keep pinching your fabric like that and putting it back. And you also want to be careful with this part right here because it's very thick. So whatever sewing machine you're using, be very careful. So once you get towards the end, you just want to add one more pleat. Then put this also back right here. So one more pleat, then tuck this edge at the back. Then of course, don't forget to back stitch. And what you want to do next is to turn it around and secure all the pleats. Okay guys, we have finished and we have already done our pleats at the back. I'm going to remind you again, in case you didn't hear me on the sewing machine, be very careful on this part right here because it's a little bit thick. So whatever sewing machine you're using, be careful. You might as well skip this pleat right here so you don't break a needle and destroy your sewing machine, especially if you're using just one regular domestic sewing machine. You do not want to destroy your sewing machine, so just skip this pleat and go to the next one. It won't hurt. So this is how the pleats look at the back, and our turban is completely done and ready to wear. Always remember, we all start somewhere. Practice will always make your work perfect. Keep practicing, and if you don't make it, please don't give up. Just keep practicing. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in my next video, which will be up tomorrow, where we are going to be lining this turban using satin. The steps are a little bit different, so just stay tuned and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm out.